Let's now move on to writing a screenplay. There are a number of stages in writing a screenplay, and each stage usually requires various drafts. Each stage has a specific purpose as one proceeds step by step from a general outline of the story to a script that contains the full details of the film, including locations, actions, dialogues, sounds, movements, etc. This process of working and reworking the film's story material, adding, cutting, or refining details along the way is called script development. Concept. The concept is a very brief outline of the basic elements involved in the story. In few sentences, it describes the dramatic progression of the story. Who are the protagonists in the film? What do they want? Who gets in their way? And how do they react? And where does it all happen? Once you have determined these basic movements of the story and understand how they work together, you are ready to write a treatment. Treatment. The treatment is a description of the plot written in present tense. It shows how the film will unfold for the audience scene by scene. It is a draft in which the writer presents the basic actions and plot structure of the story before going into the complexities of fully developed scenes with dialogue, actions, and setting. The treatment is the equivalent of a painter's sketch that can be worked and reworked before proceeding to the actual painting. It is much easier to cut, add, and rearrange story elements in this stage than in a screenplay. A story is the subject matter or raw material of a narrative with the actions and events arranged chronologically and focused on one or more characters. Story summarized in a line or two is called one-line treatment. But the plot orders the events and actions of the story as in the finished film, selecting some actions, individuals, and events and omitting others. One type of plot may present a story as progressing step by step from the beginning to the end. Another may present the same story moving backward in time. Thus, the basic story of a film may undergo stylistic changes according to how it is plotted in the screenplay. Generally, a treatment involves writing one paragraph for each major dramatic event, which is also called a narrative beat. In other words, a treatment sketches the essential events. For a short film, a treatment might be 1 to 3 pages long. A very simple short films, one can simply write one sentence describing each scene or each narrative beat. This shorter version is called a step outline or a beat sheet. A creative treatment makes the plot sound fascinating. It quickly gives the reader a sense of the main characters and their emotional growth as the story progresses. It also captures the feel of the film. That is, a comedy treatment should be funny to read. An action treatment should be exciting to read. A thriller treatment should keep the reader on the edge of his or her seat. Author's draft. The author's draft is the first complete version of the narrative in proper screenplay format. The emphasis of the author's draft is on the story, the development of characters, and the conflict, action, setting, and dialogue. The author's draft goes through a number of rewrites and revisions on its way to becoming a final draft. It is the last version of the author's draft before being turned into a shooting script. The aim of an author's draft is to remain streamlined, flexible, and readable. Therefore, technical information such as camera angles, performance cues, or detailed set description is kept to minimum. It is important not to attempt to describe the entire film shot by shot in the author's draft. The detailed visualization and interpretation of the screenplay occurs later in pre-production and production stages. The script of a 2-hour movie is normally written in 100 to 120 pages. Each page, on an average, takes 1 minute of screen time. Some action-filled scenes may take 5 pages for a minute of screen time, while some pages loaded with dialogues last only 20 seconds on screen.